Paparazzi House.
Welcome, Mr. Sreekumar. It's great welcoming you here for this wonderful podcast on power dynamics. And you have amazing track record in Asian countries as well as Middle East. Currently, you are the executive committee member and convener of Multinational Manufacturing and Conglomerates, IBPC, Indian Business and Professional Council, Dubai, and board of director and general manager of Emirates Extrusion Factory and White Aluminium Extrusions. And you are the board of director for healthcare conglomerate in this region as well. So welcome to this wonderful podcast. And we'd like to discuss something about your passion, like you love to visit countries. So I heard that during the informal chats, you visited more than 50 countries, and it's on the list to reach 100 over a period of time. And so would you like to highlight how the experience and what kind of a cultural, different dimension you have visited, maybe, and what is the thing you learned from them? So maybe a quick start to, for this program. Yeah.
Thank you very much. It's my privilege and pleasure to be here, Dr. Ram, and great honor to be invited for your podcast series. And you touched upon a very soft spot on me, which is learning the culture across geographies. I may be an engineer to start with, and a professional and a strategist in my career. But inside me, deep inside me, I always love cultures across geographies, the evolution of human philosophy, the human culture, and the wealth. So this is my target, that I have to hit a century in visiting countries. So you're right, as I was mentioning to you casually. I think I crossed 54 so far. So I have a map beside me at my home. So every time I visit a country, I put a pin on it, and the pin is now spread across all the continents of the world. But some lovely spots are still missing. But one thing I do before I go to any place is read something about that place and learn couple of words of, to welcome, greet, and say thank you in the local language of any places, because this dialect is very important to have an emotional connect. And I can tell you some of the key learnings I have in life, and what shaped me what I am today is primarily because of learning across different regions.
Interesting. So then, like moving forward, I think you have very much passionate about gardening. So how this is like maybe started like which year, like maybe from your childhood or like how has it been started, and like, and is it a particular favorite plants you have like maybe in mind, like?
It is very simple. I think all of us who are living in this world today are farmers. We are all grown in this or born in this world from agriculture, because the activities of human beings evolved through agriculture. Then we went into industrial revolution, then we went into industry 4.0, and today we're talking about AI. But everything comes from green. Why are you using the word green? Today, anything and everything we speak about sustainability, green. So why are we using that? So that means that nature is connected to green. So I am a man who strongly believes that you have to be connected to nature.
Wow.
So it is nothing to do with any particular plant. It is nothing to do with any particular fruit, but I love to be with the green. So wherever I live, when I remember the days when I was in a small apartment in Dubai when I came here first time, still my balcony was very famous for almost 70 pots in one balcony.
Wow.
And with the hanging and the sides, Today, since you have a small villa with a lot of ground around, I have fruit trees from Asia to Africa's, and I have flowering plants.
Wow.
And other houses back in India, the same thing. So it's a passion. So I don't have to describe that which flower I like. I like all flowers. If you ask me which fruits I like, honestly, you name anything as a fruit, and even if this is his candle, I may eat it because I love fruits. So it is there in the blood. So I basically believe I'm a farmer and I'm a lover of nature and green. That's the simple answer for this.
I could able to connect a lot of things during these years, your passion, where you said the evolutions and stuff like. Then I could able to see like maybe when you completed your bachelor degree program, that time the labor laws and stuff like maybe was an issue those days. Like probably now we are so blessed that's not that much intense, I guess. So would you like to touch upon how did you feel about that kind of situation working in a, like maybe labor strikes, like, and how did you solve it, and like maybe, and probably that kind of intense labor, facing labor issues, the learning is amazing, right? So probably that might be leading you to maybe, handle the situations in a different mindset perspectives, because you don't see, like, maybe from the capitalism side, you always see from the end user or the people who is, struggling to get the things done as an employee. So would you like to touch upon few points on this, maybe in the 90s, how the evolutions happened, and maybe from your thoughts?
It's a thought-provoking question, but I must compliment you. Probably you learned a lot from our missile man, Dr. Abdul Kalam, because you put so many stuff in one small bullet. So every phase it goes up and up, it keeps delivering. You ask so much of a question, which itself probably is a 1 hour topic, right? So
Absolutely.
first you talked about labor law. So let
Mm,
me start from there. Why do you need a labor law?
mm,
The labor law is today required in the world because people basically don't respect human being. So as long as we all respect the individuality of others. So I used to put a board behind me on the in the office. Believe me, it was still there till a couple of years back because we kept shuffling the offices. There's a big L and we write like this: let us respect the dignity of each individual. So the basic fundamental thing is respecting the dignity of the individual. So if you learn to respect that, half of the labor law stuff is over. The
mm,
law is required like anything else. Why do you need a traffic law here? Because you tend to violate. Why do you need a criminal law here? Because you tend to get into the soft spot of doing some crimes, right?
mm,
Even though you are not a criminal, I am not a criminal, but you tend to slip into that phase. So to protect you and guide you not to do that, and also to punish if you do go the other way around, it's a question of making discipline. So labor law is required like that. So let's now park labor law. Then you jumped into the real socio-economic evolution of India. Because when you said when
right.
economy struggles, economy changes, I have to connect it back to my motherland and where I grew up and whether I actually started my career. So if you rewind yourself, say 30 years, 35 years, India opened its economy in the 90s, early 90s, precisely 91, 92. And Dr. Manmohan Singh was a finance minister and Honorable late P.V. Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister of India. And when India opened up economy, though 25 years behind when it was really required, there was a big challenge because the employees, including me, I don't call it as labor, when they use the word labor. All of us are labor. If you're an employee, we are all labor
Labor,
because
yeah.
you work for earning.
Mm,
Okay. For me, the definition is anybody who is working and earning is a labor.
mm.
You may be a managing director, you're still a labor for your
That company.
shareholder.
Mm,
So you have a value to be added to the shareholder.
mm,
If you are a worker, what you do? You operate a machine or maybe you make a coffee in the office,
yeah.
but you are still doing it for an earning.
Mm,
Okay, right? So the labor strikes, the question what you asked, is evolved from again the rights of labor and the insecurity of labor. So when the economy opened up, what happened? There was a lot of insecurity.
mm,
The work is going, automation is coming, industry revolution 3.0 at that point of time, 2 to 3 was a transition. This is coming in. So my job is at stake. It was true. I can tell my experience. I was a very young boy, I will say still a boy of mid 20s, and I was working in a performance fiber industry. And we were executing a Japanese technology JV when this economy opening stuff was happening. We had a factory of 1240 labor. I'm using your word. To me, employees. Okay. 1240 employees were producing 11,000 tons of nylon fibers. We were amazed when that new plant we put up, which was 5,000 tons, and the organization structure given by the Japanese collaborator, I doesn't need more than 30, 40 operating people, and including commercial and support staff, maybe 100. So our eyes were blinking. Yeah, if 5,000 tons you can make hay by this many people, then for 11,000 tons, I don't need more than 300 people. But then we know that the technologies are different. The old technology had a lot of manual interventions. Here it is much more automated. So definitely there is a change in the lower end of the spectrum. But nobody hears. because unions have their own KPIs. You take one section, you have, say, 7 employees in that section. They have to make X unit of product, whatever is the output there. That is agreed between management and the union. It has no scientific basis for that. So we all started getting into this era of learning, a lot of unlearning. Today, people talk about learning, unlearning, and relearning, but we did a lot of unlearning at that point of time because we were learned in a fixed, protected economy. And when it is opening up, what happens? I am selling something at $1.10. Probably somebody is coming in from another country, is able to sell in my country at $7. Then I am nowhere. So that awakening which has come into people to be competitive. So to be competitive, you should be having the least waste, highest productivity, greatest efficiency, and the best quality and customer orientation. These were all unknown for half the groups in India. So we were forced to get into that route, and attitude makes a big difference. People like us, we jumped into that. Wow, there's something to learn. So we had the opportunity to work with some of the world's best organizations like Coopers and Lebanon at that point of time. Today is PwC. That time it was 3 different companies. Hay Consultants, name McKinsey. So we hired McKinsey for the total global restructuring of the company and which businesses to focus and what we need to do, and Coopers and Lybrand for process orientation. So in the study, one of the tasks was to create a model of whatever production you have, whatever processes you have, what are the commercial processes you have, create where we are, where we need to go, how to become competitive, what is the gap, and what we need to do. And there was a team which is formed, and I was part of that young managers team. Today, I am here sitting as Sreekumar Brahmanandan, serving on probably 7 or 8 corporate boards of different companies from manufacturing, multinationals to healthcare.
Yeah.
Probably I was found like this only because of that. I am not a genius. I learned by my hand, ears, and eyes.
So
So
you
this helped
rightly
me.
said,
Yeah.
sir. Like, thank you so much. It's so much detail onto it. I'm so impressed about your
That's why I told you
background.
this
Like,
is a subject which can take 1 hour.
yeah, and you rightly said, probably you engaged different top consultants globally, like maybe PwC or McKinsey's, and try to get some amazing frameworks and models. And you rightly said the process reengineering, that's a inevitable like a system where the production or maybe for distributions moving on a multi faceted growth, we can put it on that way. So currently you are on the multiple board of like boards as a maybe board of director and probably adding a lot of value onto it. So this will be helpful because you have done this one maybe 20-30 years back in India, and that your base has been structured in this kind of a process mappings and stuff like so, and adapting to new technology and open economy, so that you understand the competition, and every next person is always competing. And you rightly said, you're selling 10 and he's selling 7 or maybe 8, still is a competition for us.
Yeah.
So how to leverage our capabilities, cost cuttings and stuff like, so that you could able to maximize productions and enhancing the growth. So keeping all this background, so probably what kind of a style of leadership, because you've seen different economies, obviously, yes, and different ups and downs of economies, and different transition of economies, right, over a period of time. And what kind of a leadership style you adapt, because people usually tell like the common
Understood. Understood. So if I may actually intervene and take it forward because I understood what you want. Okay. So I don't want to jump into straight away leadership style. I think it needs a little bit of an intro of the journey. Then I can explain the leadership style. Then it makes the substance, then it is built. So you told, yes, I sit across multiple boards. So I came into this country as part of the journey which we began there of globalization. So way back in 1996, we brought 42 million US dollars into this country, United Arab Emirates, this beautiful place, and we became the fifth largest investment in the Jebel Ali Free Zone on technology manufacturing. And we set up a world-class organization there. And that was a journey which began. Then you asked me how you evolved your leadership style. Believe me, I learned. I had no gurus who taught me this is what you should do. Okay. We had mentors little bit, but mostly it is all an evolution process. In the evolution, it is your attitude which matters. Nobody is going to come and tell you, hey Ram or hey Shri, come this is the way you do, then you can go to these steps. No, it's not available. You can read books, you can go for training sessions, nothing will happen. Basic thing is attitude, adaptability, and flexibility. So when you have inbuilt in you, then you create a vision for yourself. I came here, I was a project manager. I had to go back in 3 years, but I was told you stay back. It's a huge process. You need to take this organization to a global platform. So you take over supply chain. And it was the first time we were setting up supply chain across Eastern Europe and even Central Europe, landlocked areas, seaside areas, areas where 6 months transportation is very difficult to reach deep into Russia. We set up all those things in the early 2000s or late 90s and set up all the systems for delivering it on time. You get my point? So when you were there, we were told and we were trained here in Dubai when we came with this of a cross-functional team building and a business process re-engineering process. Believe me, we had no boundaries. I was a supply chain head. I was also a member of the sales team. Okay. My production guy was also part of sales team. Procurement guy is part of production team. So we have different responsibilities. So you understand when a customer says something, the voice of customer, whether it is in a service industry, manufacturing industry, healthcare industry, education industry, consumer or customer. If you can't hear his voice, you will become a Ford Motors, you'll become bankrupt in multiple times. It's simple.
Got it.
It's a philosophy of death.
Mm.
So whether you want a philosophy of death or you want a growth trajectory, it's all depends on your ability to hear the customer or the consumer. What the customer need, what the consumer need. And if you have to deliver an efficient product to the customer, all the core processes which is leading to the delivery output needs to be aligned. So we were forced, I will say, because we were coming from compartmentalized working, and we were forced to go into a cross-functional team and a what you call cohesive working process based organization that laid the foundation. So answer to you, the leadership style number one, believe in team working. Don't think that you are a superhero, I can do everything. Believe me, if you are a smart guy, intelligent enough, use your team and still you can be the face of the team, but smartly respecting others so that nobody realizes that you actually made the best leverage out of what you did.
Mm.
Do you think a cricket team captain, Shubman Gill, now says that the best test series in the United Kingdom? Did he do that everything? No. But who is getting the credit? Mohammad Siraj bowled that last 5 hours.
Mm.
Fantastic, fabulous. India won the test. But the whole credit goes to the captain. It's not the whole credit, but the people see the face.
Sure.
That's what I meant by if you nurture your team well,
Mm.
work across the team, still be the leader and the face. So this is something which again evolved the leadership style.
Great.
But I need to conclude the style when you ask me. That is which I have evolved from there because this was the base.
Mhm.
Evolutionary phase two, and then finally I sat and watched due to a lot of training programs at the end of the day, and then we were asked to go and visit successful companies, what practices they have, etc., etc. From there, what I learned is something called leading from the back.
Mhm.
So I always propagate this here to any forum, any people, my friends, my social network, or in Indian Business Council, which is working under the Chamber of Commerce, and I'm a executive member, as you
Yeah.
rightly said. And in my focus group, in the events, I tell always, learn from Tata Motors. Some of the things what they did is exactly this. Lead from the back. That doesn't mean that you don't take responsibility. People mistake that. It's not the case. You use the best resources, empower them, and still not be the commanding force in the front. You are still sitting in the control room. The command is still with you. Don't worry.
Mm.
But people, everybody feels that I am the leader. So you have to create that environment, empower the people, get the best out of them, but don't go to the front and be the colonel or the commander, field marshal in the front of an army. No, that doesn't work in management. Believe me, if you're making an empowered team, working under this kind of a leadership, you are creating a sustainable delivery team.
Agreed. Wonderful. I mean, this is a different perspective altogether for the leadership roles, and especially a person who is on the board for many conglomerates and large companies in the Middle East. So one interesting question is like, okay, leading from the back is amazing thought process, but it's very you need to be literally mastery over in particular domain as well as people management and adaptation of new technologies, so that you are literally on toes to learn new things, and so dynamic to manage people. And so did you face any challenges, very particularly like one interesting challenge where you faced leading from the back? Like probably you might be thinking, yes, this is the formula, best adapted formula over my experience like this many years, but one time it is like a bit challenge for you which you want to share to us.
See, challenge is part of life. I believe there are no challenges, I'm dead. So I enjoy challenges. So let's put it plain and clear. So that's fine. Then you ask me, I could feel that inside you when you pose that question, you have a feeling that leading from the back is actually a very troublesome, very challenging, very hard leadership style. Believe me, it's one of the very simplest leadership style. But a leader has to be a leader for doing that. Why do I say a leader has to be a leader? Very simple. You see many people here in many part of the world as leaders without having all the traits of a leader. So you need to mold people first to become a leader with all the traits of the leadership. You need to have critical thinking ability, strategic orientation, good financial, at least eye for reviews and giving suggestions. The domain, you don't need to be the expert of the domain, but you should have sufficient knowledge of the domain. The best HR elements which an HR manager doesn't have. People to get the best out of the resource which is there. Then what else you will need? Good communication ability, adaptability ability. So when you have all this, you become a leader. Then all what I'm telling you is there, like a combustion engine. Everything else is there now. Switch on, it will run. But which direction it will run is the style what you adopt. This comes out of multiple ways. Many people believe that I should be in the front, I will tell do this, do that. It may work, it may not work. If it works, he becomes a hero. If it doesn't work, everybody goes away until he was responsible. Suddenly you turn back, nobody is behind you because you commanded it. In a team, the difference is we stand together. And importantly, learn to celebrate failure. Don't run away from a failure. You ask me a challenge, I have occasions where miserably failed. Believe me, I always see that there is something to learn from that rather than getting scared and step back, put your head down. No way. Always, if there is a failure, there is a lot of good things to learn from that. I love the Japanese way of doing things. You know what they do? In most of the Japanese companies which practices heavy quality management orientation, they have weekly sessions for celebrating the failures. It is something which we need to learn. People are scared about failure. Why are you scared about failure? If there is no failure, there is no success. If I don't fall 4 times before I get up, a child doesn't get up, right? You go for swimming, how many times you sink first before you really float? So it's part of the evolution. No failure, no success has come without failures. Believe me, whether it is AI, you take your airspace, you take your missile technology, you take your arithmetical capabilities, writing skills, everything goes out of a failure. So it's very simple. Just relax. Look at failure as part of your course. Take it as a challenge. You ask me what's a challenge. You want an example of a challenge?
No, just
Yeah.
I'm interacting.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
maybe connecting to that very interestingly, because when we understand about different situations and obviously failure is inevitable,
Yeah.
and there are a lot of learning onto it.
Yeah.
But the power issues comes like the blame game, because now the whole people are watching sometime like
Yeah.
maybe when this guy is going to fail, right? And how I'm going to put the blame on his head, and his way of managing the situations or the business, it's not really good, so that I get recognized, right? So probably it is not in every organization, but in certain cases it might be happening. So on that particular situation, so what is your suggestion for the younger generation? Probably maybe different on the portfolio company, sometime it happens, where one CEO is like, try to adapt some situations and, from formulas, or the other CEO might be watching it, waiting for the failure so that he get good recognition from the board of directors, but, the portfolio level, or the investors, or the CEO, or the chairmans. Uh, so what could be your, like for the blame game, how to avoid, or how to react, or how to handle the situation, from your experience to the younger generation? Yes, there is a lead behind the scene is thing, and there's a challenge. Sometimes it goes on a not expected way, not failure, but like not expected way. So how to handle the blame game now?
You heard of Nirvana, right? Even people, maybe some of your audience may not understand Sanskrit, but Nirvana is a word which is used worldwide today, and I think it's in the dictionary, right? I'm not expecting leaders or people to be in the Nirvana stage that nothing matters to me, nothing matters, I can do what you want to do. No, we are in a realistic world. So you asked about power politics. Is it inevitable? Is it which you can avoid? Unfortunately, not. Even in the best developed world, power politics is very high. Sometimes, if the world is like a lot on cash versus culture, the cash plays a higher role. And maybe you and I are sitting very close to that, area where people looks at cash more than the culture.
Mm.
So cash and culture is an evolution. Okay. So when cash plays a larger role, believe me, and power poisoning, or you get a lot of satisfaction or kick with power in your hand, this thing will happen.
Mm.
So you ask me, what do you do? There is no one point pill or a one IV drip for killing this. It's part of the game. What you do? Stay focused. Stay focused. Have good self confidence, but don't build on to self aggression.
Mm.
Be self confident. But believe me, if you are a team based man and you have that culture in you, even if couple of people goes in this way, the majority will see and admire your leadership style and walk the talk. Many people are there. They read books. They go to AI. They read. They see some training programs booklet. They will come and make good delivery of speeches. It just doesn't matter. Everybody is more intelligent than you. Always think that in your mind. This is a word I have for youngsters. Always think the other side, whether you're a consumer or your stakeholder, your boss, your subordinate, or your peers. They are more intelligent than you. Always think this, then the respect will come on its own. You will be self-level cold. But still, this challenge will be there. There could be a person who doesn't align to this. His motive is that I should get everything, right? This was your question. So, what will you do? Stay calm, stay focused, do your job. Don't mind too much about such an element. Because some people will say, like the ancient rishis, again, the people who reach the nirvana stage, try and convince him, cajole him. Don't waste too much of time on that. Okay? Try to take him along by ignoring what he is doing the other way around. You cannot do anything else about it. You can only change yourself, Ram, at the end of the day. You cannot change somebody else. None of your business. Stay focused, calm. Don't get fall into that pit. You keep moving. This is one in one, what do you call, second I can give in the end. Stay focused. Hold on to your value systems. Don't deviate. Allow others to be what they are. Sometimes when you allow them to be what they are and giving them the room for moving, maybe 50% of that will also die down.
Got it.
If I satisfied you, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. And one more thing I have easily pulled out, like the value system you said
Yeah.
now. So we are going to conclude this session, but still very interesting topic it was. And I'm trying to connect with your recent leadership, role in the Indian Business and Professional Council. Would you like to highlight a few points, because now two mixed of different values and cultures, because one is like Indian culture, yes, highly dominated, and we are in UAE culture, yes, we are respect Arabic culture and UAE culture, and probably when we find a lot of synergies between us, because end of the day it's like mostly sustainability, innovation, we talk in a different ball game altogether. So would you like to highlight what is the vision we are moving forward, and how to utilize the powerful people so that for the younger generation, how they could able to, maybe in terms of networking or in terms of, taking as a mentor, because people hesitate to take mentors. The only curse is like probably we all think like, not you, but like sometimes we think like we know everything. We leadership, yes, we know leaders, we are leaders, and we try to avoid some mentors, but mentors is might be simple, maybe the line managers or the directors who had some amazing experience. So what will be the, some tips to the younger generation, because of your track record, different countries, and maybe visiting different countries, and holding a lot of key positions now. So some simple tips would you like to share to the younger generation, please?
You made me to sit back and think philosophical. Loka samasta sugino bhavantu. This is Sanskrit stuff. It simply says that the whole world is to be good. I'm not saying that all of us can think that level. You may reach one day when your attraction for money and physical well being will go down and you want to give back to the society. So that's probably close to nirvana stage, which none of us want. We want to have a physical life, want to enjoy the life, we want to be the best of the things in the world, but yet, if you have inbuilt the value systems in you, which you have to ask yourself, what am I doing in this universe? Is it just making money? Is it just flying an aircraft or going for a large long trip with a group of friends, or in a pub or in a club or in a what do you call desert safari? This is all what you need to do. You may need to do all of that, but is it the only thing your purpose of life? No. So you need to address this. So this will help you a lot to stay focused on what you need to do. Then your question was also basically uh, what culture you will create, right? Is it what I understood?
Mhm.
So it's very simple. You told that you come from India, there is a lot of focus there, then you are in Middle East. But the world is one today. Boundaries are nothing. You and I grew up, probably not you. I grew up in an era where it was just print media what was available. During my childhood, we got into the visual media. Today, anything and everything is available in your fingertip. Don't you know what is happening in Korea today? You go to a kid and ask, they will tell who is the best K-pop. What is that? K-pop singer, right? You talk somebody about Sweden, they will talk about that. You go to Russia, we know what is a big, the gamers in Russia, or the Chinese guys who invent and do all this, mix puzzles and games. They are the best gamers today, right? In the world. So as long as you think that I'm not supreme, I'm like one others. Every religion, every region, every country has its pluses and minuses. As long as you don't see others as inferior, you are aligned to enjoy the cultures. Believe me, all cultures have fabulous things. You go to any place, you will not come back without enjoying at least one cuisine, one culture, and one dress, and probably one form of art. Why? Because every place has it. So see the world as one.
Mhm.
I don't think that you forget your mother. I don't say to anybody, if you are an Arab, why do you want to hesitate? I'm an Arab. If you are a Keralite or you want to say a larger, scale as India, you are an Indian. You are born as an Indian. Whatever I do, my hair cannot be changed to look like a Russian, right? I will look like an Indian. So be clear about it. Doesn't matter. Build your self-respect first. So if somebody calls you a monkey, I don't turn back to see whether I have a tail because I know I'm not a monkey. I will smile at him. So similarly, build your self-respect and self-confidence. Then learn to respect others. Simple and clear. Nothing
Great.
will happen.
It's so amazing. Nice talking to you now. And it's wonderful. Like, probably you are in this journey for many years and shared a lot of tips about the hidden power formulas. Probably people will be shy away to talk about it. And you have openly discussed about your experience. How did you come across? And you put it into a simple format the younger generation can learn from you. And it is so nice. And probably we'll be reconnecting sometime for a wonderful talk again. Thank you so much and have a wonderful time.
Thank you very much, Ram. Keep learning. Today also I learned something. I'll tell you later from you also. So keep learning. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. I hope this few minutes of whatever I spoke from my heart. I had no script. I didn't know what you're going to ask me. I spoke from my heart. So whatever I gave, may be useful for somebody. Somebody reach out to me and say, "Hey, Shri, that was good for me."
Yeah.
My life is spent. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much and have a wonderful
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Namaste.
sir. Thank you.